All right, guys, that's all I got for you today. That is, oh my God, this ending. Why is it so hard?
That's what she said. Michael.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about Black Myth Wukong and Stellar Blade Game Awards and how they kind of got snubbed. And, you know, we all kind of saw this coming. If you remember when both of these games come out, there was a lot of negative articles written about these two games from the game journalist. Oh, it's too sexy. Oh, these guys just want to fap to porn. Oh, Black Myth Wukong's devs, they're sexist. Look at this mistranslated, snippet that we're writing articles about. Yes, it's mistranslated, but we don't care. We're going to slam them anyway because we know this game's going to be popular and make us look bad. So, I mean, we're not surprised. So I saw this video by Side Scrollers. We're going to watch it, see what he's got to say, and we'll pause and give our thoughts and comments as we go.
Hey, if you saw this coming, please raise your hand. That's right. Everybody saw this coming. That's right. Hey, everybody, I'm Craig. Welcome to the Side Scrollers podcast channel. We are back tomorrow live, and I can't wait to see you guys at 11 a.m. Central Time. So if you're new, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button. Join the 101,000 normal men who have found common sense in the video game and entertainment space. Okay, so let's talk about this. Like I said, we all saw this coming, but now that it's here, it's a stark reminder of what they think you are, right? So, and I'm talking about the Golden Joysticks Awards, specifically what they didn't nominate for Game of the Year. Let's go over to X for this one right here. Going to Pirate Nation. Black Myth Wukong not nominated for Game of the Year by the Gold.
The fact that that's not nominated for Game of the Year just, in my opinion, invalidates that award at all. Look, I'm not saying it has to win it by default, but the fact that it's not even nominated, it's blasphemy, honestly. Blasphemy.
Golden Joystick Awards. Now, once again, everybody saw this coming in the worst way possible. You may be asking yourself, hey, man, who exactly is the Golden Joystick Awards? Well, I'm glad you asked, normal man, because here it is. The Golden Joysticks judging panel meets to compile our short list of nominees. The judges consist of editors and contributors for our sister brands. Now, this is from GamesRadar.com that include PC Gamer, FGS, Edge Magazine, Retro Gamer, Games Radar, and a variety of quote-unquote industry.
That should tell you all you need to know right there. All those game journalists, they hated Black Myth Wukong. They hated Stellar Blade. So I am not surprised one bit that these people are sitting here and not casting a vote to nominate two games that they absolutely despised.
Experts. You always love that saying. Here's my thing on this. The whole industry expert thing. You know who the experts are? You.
Yep.
You're the expert.
Yep.
You're the
industry experts honestly should be the customers. How well did the game sell? How well was the game received by the player base? What were the reviews like by the player base? These critic reviews, you don't make games for the critics. You make games for the gamers, not the critics. Critics are going to look at games and they're going to judge these games based off of criteria that gamers don't care about. So if you're basing, your review or basing your nomination of a game based on the way it was received by critics, you're wrong.
Customer. You're the ones who spend the money to play these games. You're not giving them for free. I mean, you may get a Steam code every once in a while. That'd be sweet. But
yeah,
at the end of the day, you're the one paying for it. So you're the one who should be voting on all this. And I'll say, like I said, people saw this coming. And Demian over on X, he posted this, says, Black Myth Wukong ignored by the Golden Joysticks Award. I told you, it's Hogwarts Legacy all over again.
Hogwarts Legacy was a huge game, made even huger, honestly, by the Streisand effect, because people came out, well, not people, games journalists came out. I hesitate to call them people, but they came out and they were all against this game from the very beginning because they just didn't appreciate that J.K. Rowling supported women over in the UK. So they call her a TERF, they call her a transphobe, they call her a bigot. And the fact that her IP was attached to this game, which benefited her in the most minimal way. She was not involved in the game whatsoever. But the fact that it could even benefit her, they were against this game. They tried to boycott it. They tried to destroy this game before it was ever released. But the game exploded. I know I bought two copies. Not because I was trying to support Roland, extra. It was just I had two different platforms and two different people playing it, and sometimes they might want to play at the same time. So instead of fighting about it, I bought it twice. But the game was huge, and it also did not get any nominations for awards. So again, it's a very political process, and if these nominators did not like the game for whatever reason, doesn't matter how huge or how successful the game was or how impactful the game was on the gaming community, they are not going to nominate it for any awards.
We saw this last year with the Game Awards and the other various industry access media awards. These awards that are voted on by quote unquote video game journalists, right? It says if you don't pander to the echo chamber, you're thrown out and ignored like you never existed in the first place. That's right, Black Myth Wukong. It's insane that this is not at least nominated for Game of the Year. Look, at the end of the day, that's the biggest thing. Is it should at least be nominated for the whole thing. RinoTheBouncer over on X's thoughts. This is, I think, really, really important. So listen to this. I know Game Award events are meant to represent critics' choices, not player votes. This is the problem here.
The fact that it's meant to represent critic choices, then this specific Game Award show or whatever it is invalid. It doesn't matter. It makes no difference then, because it's not the gamers that are putting out the awards. It's critics, and these critics, we already know how hypocritical a lot of these critics are.
Awards should,
for lack of a better word,
represent the critics. They should represent the player. They should represent you. And you guys know where I'm going with this, but we'll get to that in just a little bit. But when games that made significant commercial buzz or overwhelming love for players, this should be taken into consideration when voting for games as a critic.
Thank you.
I agree.
Yes.
If critics are going to be voting on this thing, they should take the customer into account. Black Myth Wukong was developed by a Chinese studio that never made a console game with a budget of $70 million and sold 10 million
$70 million
copies
was the
in
budget?
3 days and 20 million copies in a month with $1 billion in revenue. Putting alongside the gaming's biggest hits like Zelda, God of War, Spider-Man, and Elden Ring.
And I'm kind of curious how it says put it alongside these other games. Well, I want to see how much the development cost of these other games were. I could see maybe Elden Ring, but God of War and Spider-Man, come on. There's no way those were only $70 million. I mean, come on. But Zelda, maybe. I mean, Zelda's on a cheaper platform, I guess you could call it, from a graphics standpoint, so it probably wasn't as expensive to do. I don't know. But, I mean, in my opinion, I put Black Myth Wukong way above God of War and Spider-Man. I like Elden Ring just as much, but they are slightly different. Zelda, I love Zelda, but I am so sick of the open world game with Zelda. I lose interest in the way they do their story in these open world games. And I beat the first one. I'm older now. The second one, I got halfway through it and I lost interest. They need to change it up and make the storytelling a more central focused part of the game, so that as you do the open world and do all these other things, you're still being fed spoonfuls of the story to keep you interested.
And the fact that this has not been nominated by Access Media is insane. Stellar Blade was developed by a South Korean studio. Also, their first game on console, and achieved good success and rated 9.2.
Not good success. Great success.
By the users, aka...
They were only limited because it was on the PS5. If this had been a PC release at the same time, that game would have been probably just as big initially as Black Myth Wukong. I'm telling you, the game was terrific. Yeah, it's known for its sexy, main protagonist, Eve. I mean, oh my God. But the game was amazing. I was surprised how good the music, the environments, the combat, the boss designs, the creature designs, just everything was extremely well done. It blew away my expectations. I thought it was just going to be another game that was mediocre, but had a sexy protagonist. And it wasn't. It was everything you could look for in a game.
Customers, which is as high as many industry icons like Grand Theft Auto 5, The Last of Us, God of War, and it had an ambitious future ahead. It has big future. 1,000%. Grums over here, he's been leading this charge along the way. They snubbed them all. Virtue over logic. Bitterness reigns
essentially
in the Western gaming
essentially
industry.
what happened.
1,000%. Once again, let's take a look at Black Myth Wukong here. How did it do? The Metacritic score, 81%.
That's
user
ridiculous.
score, the customer score, 8.3.
Now, the only reason that user score, in my opinion, is as low as it is, because it should be higher. The game itself was terrific. The story was terrific, albeit sometimes hard to follow because I'm not Chinese. I don't actually understand or know that story as much, and there's only so much they can do in one game, right? But everything was terrific. I was on the edge of my seat for everything. The mid-chapter cutscenes that they did, the animations, was it claymation or stop motion that they did? Everything was terrific. It was well done. I think the only reason that score is as low as it is the fact that there were moments where the game just had a hard time running, it seems. When you go into a new area, it would be very buggy. Not buggy, hitchy, I guess you could call it. That's the biggest thing. Like, there was one cutscene into chapter 3 after I beat like this white spectral dragon. I fell through the ice into like the pagoda jail, I think it was. That whole cutscene was janked for me. And then I had another cutscene where I just freed BJ, if I'm saying it right, the pig, right, from his prison. He was trapped in like some symbol looking thing, and when I freed him, that whole cutscene there was a little janked. I could see it, but the audio was completely off. So those are the only two moments I had like that. But that's my only critique with the game, is just those specific things. But other than that, the combat was great. The story was great. The game design itself was great. It just might needed to have been optimized a little bit better for PC in certain situations. Don't think it was my PC, because when I checked the RAM, the CPU, everything looked like it was running fine. It wasn't being stressed or anything. I mean, I just got my PC probably a month before the game came out.
Right? 8.3 out of 10. That is really, really good.
Also, for the sake of this video, I'm speeding this up a little bit. Let's go to 1.5. Hopefully it's not too fast.
Yes, of course it's going to get downvoted because some people are jerks, right? You see this all the time. Wait, what about Stellar Blade for the PlayStation 5? An exclusive, baby. Let's go. 81.
9.2. That is accurate for this game. I think anywhere between 9.5 to 9.2 is terrific. 81, I'm really surprised they got that high with the critics, honestly. At least you had some honest critics, right? But it should have been higher.
Critic score, 9.2 along the way. This is the problem. Didn't even get a shot at any sort of award for Game of the Year. Not even an opportunity, and that's the problem. And I want you yes, I'm absolutely going to use this as an opportunity to talk about the Real Game Awards, because this is exactly why the Real Game Awards exist in the first place, because there needs to be an alternative for it.
When your critic's choice goes completely opposite of the gamer's choice, you have a problem. Either the gamers are wrong or the critics are wrong. And I can tell you right now, the gamers are the ones spending the money playing the games, spending their time playing the games. They're not wrong. It's the critics that are wrong here. And that's a problem. The fact that they're completely different on how they view things, these critics either need to just go away or they need to reevaluate how they do their job. Most likely that's not going to happen, so they probably should just go away.
As pointed out by the Mad Shogun over on X. He says, this is why I'll watch the Real Game Awards instead, produced by an actual gamer, me, correct, rather than a urinal scripting hack, Jeff Keighley. Now look, Jeff Keighley, I've said this before, Jeff has gone out of his way, he's risked his money to produce that show, right? Awesome, do it. But the corporatization of the Game Awards is what is also its biggest downfall, right? It strives to be the Oscars. It strives to be these things. Why? Why do we need that? We don't need black ties in gaming. No. Gamers don't wear black ties. They wear jeans and shirts and hats and sometimes even Crocs. Savvy, Jeremy, I'm looking at you guys. But
if they're putting on a show, they need to make money from it. I mean, it's going to be a net loss for them. So I guess some of this stuff is just their way of making money from it. Is there a better way of doing it? Potentially. I don't know.
We don't need all the happenstance. Yes, it's nice to get, a nice stage and wonderful spotlight and a dancing number here and there, but I don't want to be the Oscars. I don't want the Real Game Awards to be the Oscars, because that's not who the gaming audience is. That is not who you are right here. So with that said, look, if you're tired of this nonsense, today, literally today, we opened up nominations for the Real Game Awards Game of the Year. Now, it's for all voting members. If you're a voting member, it's $30 a year. People go, why does it need to be $30 a year? You're such a big grift. No, it's $30 a year because we don't want any sponsorships associated with it. The only sponsor is you. It's you. There's no $250,000 to buy a 30-second trailer on our show. The only funding comes from you. This year, it's going to be a digital event, and next year, we're going to do a big event. Like I said, I don't care if it's at a Buffalo Wild Wings or if it's at an Embassy Suites or if it's at a Reunion Arena in downtown Dallas, which doesn't even exist anymore, but some sort of major stadium. Whatever. We're going to do it next year, but we want to get it off the ground this first year and at least create an alternative. If we want to make change, we have to take action, and that's what the Real Game Awards is. So if you wouldn't mind, head over to therealgameawards.com. You guys can become a membership up here, become a member up here. All you gotta do is click it, or if you already are a member, go to updates at the top of the page up here. Click that, and you'll see all the latest updates, including today's Game of the Year nominee. Now, all throughout the month of October, we're gonna have a new category available for you guys to nominate. Because once again, we're just about putting it down. You guys control everything about this, including the different categories that we have. So today, it's all about nominating for the 2024 Game of the Year. If you guys want Stellar Blade there, if you want Black Myth Wukong there, if you want Concord there, all you gotta do is go down, put it in the comments below. We're going to tabulate it all, and then we're going to be voting on it in December. So with that said, I'm excited for you guys. This is why this exists. There needs to be alternative. We need to take action. Appreciate you guys.
The fact that gamers are trying to put on their own game award show, I think is great. I think they should. Gamers need to be the ones that tell people what the best games of the year were. Not critics that might hate or love a game based on other criteria, such as agendas, political biases, ideologies. Stuff like that should not be influencing someone's opinion on how good a game is. At least not as a critic. Now, as a gamer, sure, you can choose to play or not play a game based on some of the stuff that might exist in a game. But when you have critics that are so scared of an attractive woman existing in a video game, then that's a problem, because they're already making assumptions about a game and choosing to review it poorly or not. I mean, we had some game critics deliberately not review Hogwarts Legacy because of J.K. Rowling, or they just gave it a 1. Now, are they really doing their job in that case? No, they're not. Not at all. And that's a problem. We need another solution, and I'm all for the Real Game Awards. If they can get this up and off the ground running, hey, that's great. I hope they stick it to this other Game Award show, because obviously they're doing something wrong if they did not nominate Black Myth Wukong and Stellar Blade. All right, guys, that's all I got for you today. If you liked the video, hit the thumbs up. If you want more content from this channel or notifications when I go live on this channel, hit the subscribe button, and I will talk to you guys next time.